All right. Good afternoon. Good evening, rather. It is nighttime. Good evening, Facebook, social media, YouTube, wherever you are watching, even Twitter. We're live on Twitter as well, wherever you're watching this video. It's your favorite girl, Angela E. Stevenson, and I am coming to you from the takeover. I am happy we've been missing for a couple of weeks. I've been busy. I had a birthday come up and I had a big birthday party. Of course, the prom, some of you were there. If you weren't there, you missed it. So we were busy with getting that out of the way. And now we have returned for season 1, episode 3. And we're going to have an exciting show tonight. Listen, everybody wants to talk about this subject. So I have a great person that's joining me, Mr. Anthony Wilson. He will tell you more about himself momentarily, but we want you to get your questions, comments, put it in the chat. We're going to be talking tonight about saved, single, and sexy. Can you be all three at one time? Can I only be saved and single? Can I be single, saved, and sexy? Can I be saved, single, have sex? We're going to talk about it. So nothing is off the table. Well, some things, but some things. We'll just see how it goes. Welcome, Anthony Wilson. How are you?
All is well. It is such a joy and a pleasure to be on the takeover. I'm excited for you. I'm grateful to God for you. Proud of you, and I like the fact that you keep reinventing yourself, and it's just a joy to be on your show tonight. And I count this as a privilege for many reasons. So thank you so much for bringing me to the takeover.
You're so welcome. Thanks for joining us with your busy schedule. He's in school, you guys, to get his PhD. So anybody know who has been that route knows. I don't have mine, but I just know that's a tedious job. It's a lot of work that you have to put in that. So thank you, amongst other things that you're doing. So tell us, Anthony, for the people who don't know, I've known Anthony for years. Some of you may remember us. We used to do a podcast show together, Inspirational Chat, a few years ago. That went very, very well. We may have to do something again sometime soon once the schedule slows down. So we'll see. But Anthony, tell us what you have going on right now, right quick, before we dive into this subject matter.
Well, just a little bit about me. I am a native of Atlanta, born in Atlanta, raised primarily in the Decatur area. Went to school in Decatur, Southwest DeKalb High School. Did my undergrad at DeVry University. Went on to seminary, Luther Rice. Got my master's in that.
Okay.
In ministry, and now I'm in the PhD program, which is a first PhD program at the school. So I got that going on, and I am a single father, have been a single father since 2012. I have my sons living in my home with me. Many of you may not know, my oldest son is deceased. And so I have two sons, 19 and 16, that I've been raising on my own for 10 years after a 15-year divorce, 15-year marriage. So I was divorced in 2014. I also work for the Department of Corrections as a clinical chaplain, which I absolutely love. Going to prison every day. I love it because I get to change lives each and every day. Published author, and I've done a little acting, done some radio, some TV, and I am a senior pastor. So I pastor a church called Church 180 in McDonough, Georgia. Yes. And shout out to them. And I'm grateful to God for my church. That's just a little bit about me.
A little bit, that's a lot. I thought I had a long resume to explain. That's a lot. You're doing a lot.
I do make myself available for certain speaking events centered around love and relationships. The name of my book is entitled The Eve Effect, Secrets to Getting Your Desired Results from Him. I've been trying to get the second book finished, The Adam Effect, Being the Man a Woman Can't Resist. So it's still on the table, working on it. With all I got going on, it's been difficult, but I will get it done.
So we're
And
gonna get this book published next year, right?
yeah, and many of you all don't know, Angela is my publisher. And so I'm
Yes.
thankful for that as well. So that's just a little bit about me. And I'm grateful again for being on your show.
Awesome. That was a lot to take in. So I hope you guys heard him. First of all, ladies, he's single. So and he has a whole lot of things going on. 2 children, what, 3 really, but the first son is deceased. I remember meeting him, and then the 2 that you're still raising. Is he in college? Your 19-year-old?
Not yet. He should be going next year.
Okay.
So it's either that or he's going to the service. And I can't forget about my grandbaby. Got a
That's
granddaughter.
right. Yes. Beautiful little grandbaby. Yeah. Okay. Cool beans. Well, look, let's jump in here. We'll come back later and ask you how people can contact you and get in contact with you and follow you on social media, things
All
of
right.
that nature. But this great topic that we're discussing tonight, say single and sexy. I chose you to be a part of this show. So I'm glad that you were available. First of all, that you are single pastor. Not just that you're a pastor, but you're a single man. And I know you got a lot going on for yourself, as well as myself, a single person. So I wanted to have this conversation because as being 2 saved individuals, believers, and I'll put it that way, because some people are like, what is saved? And I don't want to make this too churchy or biblical, but of course we'll probably get into some scripture later. But people who profess salvation and believers of Christ, we both are those 2 people. We've accepted salvation. So that being said, I feel like I am a rather attractive female. I think you are an attractive male, and we are both Christians. How do we deal with single life? And is it okay? Can we be, say, single and sexy? So give me your definition of sexy. Let's start there because we need to define that first
So
briefly.
I'm a black male, 50 years old, and I've had a lot of experience with women in my life. So what I define sexy is it's going to be different than someone younger than me and probably older than me.
That's all right.
And so for me, it sexy to me is intelligence. It's the way a woman carries herself. It has nothing to do with physical appearance per se, in terms of um, she has to look like this person that's famous or that person or anything like that. For me, it can be something, the way she walks. It could be the way she talks. It could be just um, not so much superficial stuff that can change. And so the things that I particularly name are things that can go with and for a person until they leave here. So it has nothing to do with um, someone being pretty per se, because I've seen a lot of pretty ugly women in my life.
Okay.
It's I'm big on intellect, man. I'm big on that. Or an articulate lady who knows how to balance um, her settings, knows how to adjust to where she is. I mean, she can get down cheering for a football team, but then turn around, put on some 5-6 inch heels and command the attention of a room just because she walked in. For me, uh, that's sexy. And then lastly, I have to say a woman who is definitely biblically literate. And so, with that being said, I love a reader, someone who is in the Word of God. All of that is sexy to me. So, if you'd have asked me that 25 years ago, it
Your answer.
probably would have been a lot of superficial stuff.
Okay. So let me go here. So I appreciate your answer because that's your definition, and we're gonna cover a couple of those things that you mentioned momentarily. But I want to read the definition from Miriam's dictionary, and it says a couple of different. definitions I have, because we need to make sure we define this, because it's going to all play into the conversation. So one definition I have: sexy is sexually attractive or exciting, stimulating, sexually suggestive. Was there another one? Yeah, that's the main ones. So sexy is sexually attractive or exciting or stimulating. So it means I don't even go there yet. We're gonna wait. Sexually suggestive, alluring, or enticing. So I guess my next question would be, with that being said, as Christians, can we be sexy still? So I'm gonna let you give your answer, and then I'm gonna follow up with mine.
Absolutely. And just knowing from a cultural aspect, different cultures find different things sexy. Okay. To the point where and alluring and appealing and all that other stuff. All right. Without necessarily the end goal is sex, to have intercourse with that person. And so when you look at that definition, you have to be careful with that as a believer, thinking that you can wear a certain thing and then deem yourself to be sexy. Well, the end goal for most situations like that would be the ultimate connection with that person would be sex. So let's go back to it. You can be saved and sexy, but like I said before, it's all about or appealing or alluring or exciting. And for me, it's intellect, because that means you can hold a conversation. You can really talk about. If a woman is a reader, she can always bring something to the table intellectually. And I mean, for me, that's stimulating, you know. But for everybody, other people may have their own definitions. And so it's contextually and it's culturally, it's going to be culturally relative. Um, and so there's a world, let me say it this way, there's a worldly aspect of being sexy, and there's another one as it relates to being people of God. And if you don't believe me, you can read the entire book of the Songs of Solomon, and you will
Right.
see it.
Mm-hmm.
You will see it before yourself. And so God created us, and he created us to be exciting and appealing and alluring and all of that. It's just a matter of what's the end game of what you have. And
I agree.
And so again, let me say it this way. A woman, to me, that puts on clothes where she's, scantily clad, she has a lot of skin showing. For me, okay, that's not appealing to me.
Okay, so hold that thought, because I know where you're going with that. We're coming around the mountain curve to that.
That's not.
So I agree that all the things that you mentioned, it could be the person's confidence, their intellect.
Yeah.
Some people have just a natural attractiveness about them, or just naturally sexy. And it does not mean that because I find you to be sexy, like you said, that I want to have sex with you. And I'm not saying you per se. I'm just saying it's not that I want to have sex with that person. I just find them sexy. And sometimes when you're trying to build relations or you're dating, you want to be attracted to whoever it is that you.
Yes.
I hate when people say, "Oh no, it don't matter." Yes, it does matter, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So what I find sexually appealing, you may not, or the next person may not. As you were getting ready to go into, there are some people who seek for attention, so they set themselves up so that they can be more attractive. So they have an end goal that I want this attention, or I want to be seductive. They want to seduce this person. So that's Yeah, you're going in the worldly realm right there. Whether I profess to be saved or not, because I know some people who that's what they do. I want the attention, and they feel like I have to do that in order to get this person's attention, whether it's a male or female. Um, when I was being raised in the church, well, I'm still in church. When I said as younger, as a female, my mother taught me not to wear certain things because it was about the mindset of the man. You don't want to seduce him. You don't want to come off this way. And they put it all about the physical appearance, not so much that, and you could have your dress long down to the ground and sleeves to your arms, and somebody still gonna find you attractive because people were still coming up pregnant in the church. So it wasn't about me being covered and not looking seductive to someone, because it could have been my smile, it could have been the way I walked, the way I carried myself, facial features, whatever, my confidence, my intellect. It could have been anything. So it's not just boxed into physical, but there are some people who seek for attention and they seek to be seductive. And I think we have to talk about those things too, because I may not be doing anything and I'm not trying to seduce anybody. I'm just me walking the room and there's somebody be like, oh, she's attractive, she's sexy. Okay, all right, let's move on. How do you handle that? So you being a single pastor, attractive male, and we all know, ministers, preachers, musicians attract females. How do you handle the pressure of that?
Again, you're asking a 50-year-old man who's been in ministry for over half. Listen,
how do you handle it?
Been in ministry for over half of my life. So for me, I can only speak for me in this regard, and I can generalize about other men or even pastors for that matter. For me, even before I became a pastor, a preacher, a man of God, in many terms, I never had an issue with, getting females or dating. That was never an issue. And so with being a pastor, there's a component of celebrity that is attached to it. We can say what we want to say, but that's what it is. And then we can even take it a little deeper and say that when we carry the anointing is appealing. It has a certain appeal to certain people. All right. But even in regards to that, if a guy looks a certain way, a pastor looks a certain way physically, okay, all of that adds to the celebrity component that that pastor may have. And for some women, they want it, or they see the limelight part of it, and they want to be a part of that. Because there are a lot of guys who, and I'm not, I'm a real man, but I can look at another man and say, well, he's not that appealing in the face. But those same men can get women to flock and do all the other stuff because, again, what they carry.
Right.
So for me, because of my history prior to pastoring, I'm not surprised. I'm not anything, and I say that with confidence, but not arrogance, because I do my best to walk in humility when I deal with females, deal with women. That it doesn't matter how you look and all that. My thing is, I don't see you as a toy. So when you see women dress a certain way, and let me just say this, because I really want to dig into this whole sex appeal stuff with people that's saved, because I'm seeing too many women that's saved trying to compete with women who are in the world for the same man. That's no. Right. But for me, and ladies, you got to hear me when I tell you, whenever a man, and this is what's interesting, this is a conversation I had with my son, my oldest son, before he died. It was like one of our last dig in conversations about women who dress a certain way, draw that attention, but understand it's only a certain kind of guy you're gonna attract. And
That's
then
true.
and then on top of that, that man is gonna see you as a play toy, as something like a little boy see something. Oh, I want to play with that. That's so this, and they'll play with it. And what do little boys do after they play with a toy long enough? They take it and just throw it to the side. That's
Mm-hmm.
what we see. That's how we feel. We're not gonna come out and admit it, but that's the reality of it. And
True.
let me show you exactly how you'll know he got a problem ultimately with what you wear. Try to wear that same stuff around his mama or grandmama and see what happens. Say, baby, I'm wearing this. You got all this. You got the outfit. You know you don't have any underwear on because we can tell by looking at the side because it's open up. You showing all of your hoo ha. You got all that going.
I would hope a female would not, but I've
Listen,
seen it happen. I've seen
but
it happen.
try,
So
try.
I have sons. I have sons. So
And
yeah.
here's the reality of it. Here's the reality of it. That man don't really respect you because a real man doesn't want to attract the wrong attention when it comes to his woman.
It's true. But I've seen men who've been out in public, but I have my theory about that, who've been out in public and their ladies are with them and they are scantily dressed. I mean, cleavage is all out, uh, short skirt or tight shorts, Daisy Dukes as they call them, short
Okay.
shorts. It's like, wow, is he okay with his lady being out? But they're together. So I don't know. I think it's still for attention for the both of them. So it's drawing. I think an insecure guy will allow his woman to go out with him like that because of the
That
attention.
is, that is a great point. That is a great point. Okay,
Otherwise, you're
but
secure in who you are. You're not, like you said, and you respect yourself and you respect your woman. You don't want, now we don't want anybody, we don't want, let's put it this way, we don't want anybody that's not attractive. We already stated that. But at the same time, we don't want to get negative attention where everybody is looking at your mate like, okay, I know what she about. I know what she doing. Or, I know what they got going on based on the fact because I am dressed a certain way. Doesn't necessarily mean that's who I am, but it's what I'm portraying in the minds of men and women sometimes, because we look at women and be like, oh, okay, you know.
so for me, and I want to answer and address something that we've always, as pastors, get accused of. So the so-called women who come to church dress a certain way, they sit on the front, all that. For me, okay, built in Anthony Wilson, I have my own personal ignore switch.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem ignoring. I'm going to ignore the I'm going to ignore the mess out of you because again, that does not appeal to me at all. And you have already disqualified yourself
Right.
from anything that's remotely about getting to know me in a personal way. And I've seen it done, but again, I pay no attention to it. People always want to accuse all the preachers. It's not like that. All of us are not like that. Because again, we see you as trouble. If you are so arrogant and bold to do that, what you think you'll do to us?
This
So,
is true. This is
so
true.
for me, I have a wonderful ignore ministry. My it's strong, and so and you have to have it. If you're gonna do this, if you're gonna walk this walk, you got to know how to ignore some stuff.
This is true. I agree. Because you know what's for you and what's not. Um, I'm not a pastor, but being in the limelight, so to speak, and a public figure who I am, I still have to be careful with the people who I associate myself with. Like you said, the anointing is already attractive. Then what I do is attractive to some people. And then you already have what I call, and I'm not saying this with arrogancy either, is that I feel like we both have just a natural uh, attractiveness about us. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna get all types of people coming your way. And for where we're going, for where we are, and even for where we're going, you can't link up with anybody and everybody anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, because it's going to mess up your brand, your ministry, whatever the case may be. So, you have to be careful with that. So, I'm glad you touched on and explained to the females who would be watching this that men do pay attention to certain things. And it's okay. I like to say conservatively sexy. Uh, you can dress a certain way and still give off the sex appeal or this attractiveness. And it's not that you're trying to attract attention. We like to look cute. Okay, females, we talk about all the time. What you wearing? You know, we're gonna go somewhere. What you wearing? Oh no, but I'm gonna be cute. You know, so yeah, we want to be cute. We're not trying to be looking at our homie, but I can still be modest and conservative in my dress and not show everything, you know, and I can still leave some things to the imagination of what I got going on. So, but you know, why you shake your head? We do. That's how we talk. What you wearing?
Again,
You wearing this dress now? I don't know yet, but I'm gonna be cute. Okay. Let's put it
again,
on.
again, we got to address it now. We have to contextualize this for this show, and that is when you are a saved woman of God, what you wear matters.
It does.
What I hear all the time is, I'm saved, I'm saved, but I ain't dead, and I got all this, and yada, yada, yada. And then we take it another step further. Women who have gone from a size, a larger size, and then they lose a lot of weight, and they save, and they just go off the rail. And then they will promote themselves on social media. They'll promote themselves on social media, and then when they don't get the attention they thought they should have gotten, or they get the kind of attention that they don't like, then they want to complain there's something wrong with everybody else.
But here's
But
the
as
thing.
a rule of thumb, whenever you put something out in the public audience, you have given them permission to respond however they want to respond.
That is true.
Period.
I believe, though, so I agree. And I tell some of my female younger relatives or mentors that be careful about what you post on your little videos that you're doing, and you got your boobs all in the camera, or you showing all your booty. You know, you're going to get attention because you are beautiful. But if that's all they know about you, they don't know. They can't see the brains because they're looking at boobs and booty, so then you get upset, and I've had some conversations. Well, they just talk to me because that's what you put out there, boo. You put that out there. So you're not posting or commenting on things intelligently and having conversations, that you're engaging people and showing your intellect. But you're showing all this sexiness and, hey, as if I'm here, take me if you want me. And then when they make those comments, then you are mad, you upset. But that's all you gave them. So you got to change the dynamics of that to get what it is that you want. And I'm not saying you got to look like an old maid. No, you don't. But you cannot just give everything. You don't have to show all of your cleavage out here. They know you got some boobs. They know they're there. They see them. So you got to be, everything got to be hanging out. You don't have to do it.
It's like one of the things I address in my book for the evil effect, and that is women have to stop competing with each other for men. And let me go a step further. Women complain that there are no good men. All right. And so then they start boxing themselves in. So they'll say then there's no good black men. They're all this and they're all that. Well, what if it's God's will that you be with someone outside the black race? What if the pool is larger? Okay. And I said that, and I have to address that because Although black women may he and ha about the fact that black men may be with other ethnicities, but it is so acceptable.
Well, I'm finding that more females are going that way now.
And what I'm saying is, well, in the past, it really wasn't that acceptable. And all I'm saying is, don't box yourself, don't box God in to the pool of men that God has created in this world. And so the competition issue has women on social media doing a little side pictures so they can show that boom.
Mm-hmm.
And they then some of them shaking it and dropping it and all of that. And here's the reality. A man really does not want that.
Well, what does he want? Tell the people, help us, help the women. What do you want?
We want somebody respectable.
Right.
Oh, let me give it to you. Let me give you in plain English. We want a woman in the streets. And you know the rest.
I know the rest.
You know the rest. Right. So you can't put what you do in the sheets in the streets. Preach, Wilson. I'm trying.
No, we're not gonna preach today.
But that's the problem.
That's true. You're right. You're right.
And
you can't put it all out there.
And you putting it out there. In my book, I always tell women this: stop posting pictures of you in hotels. I don't care if you're on vacation. I don't care none of that. Stop posting pictures of you in hotels. It sends the wrong message. You like
one picture, or are you talking about they consistently they may travel a lot. So if they travel a lot, they're at a hotel.
Take the picture in front of a tree. Take it at a pond, but not in a hotel.
Okay.
Okay. Let me give you another piece, and then let me stop. I'm gonna stop after this, and stop posting all this long stuff on these sites where you're trying to date. You got this. You miss me if you just want sex, and not. We don't care not 1 iota of what you writing.
So they just gonna look at the pictures and they just gonna respond based on the pictures.
Exactly.
But listen, okay, so I hear you. That's how y'all operate. I hear you. But if I'm on a dating site, and even the Christian ones, because I have done online dating, so even the Christian ones have a mixture of people. So I can say I'm a Christian and I ain't living no kind of life, because I know there's, some men just want a church girl. However, yes, but if I'm trying to weed out the people, if I don't put nothing or I'm very vague in my description, then I'm going to get all types of people messaging me, sending me messages, and I don't want to have to deal with that. So
that is not true.
Yes, it is true, because I've had that experience.
Listen, you can put whatever you want. I'm saved, sanctified, I speak in tongues, and blah. If you look good,
they still gonna
Nut is gonna answer the call. So here's what I'm saying. Hold that
thought. So I'm gonna go back. If I don't say nothing, my point is this: I don't have to give no long bio and be all deep like, I'm saved. I go to church every Sunday, every Wednesday, all that stuff. I don't have to say that. I do not say that. I do say that I'm a believer, or whatever. All right. So I'm hoping that weeds out some folks, because if you're not, and there's some things that I just don't like. I don't like a person who uses a lot of profanity. That is just not sexy to me at all. Every other word is a curse word. No, yeah, miss me with that. So I do put some things in there that I want to. Hey, do they read this? If they read this profile, they're gonna see, oh, okay, let me not even go here with her. But if I don't put anything, then I'm gonna get all kinds of craziness in my I don't have to deal with that.
What would you put on there, for example, to think you're gonna weed out men?
That I'm a believer, and if they're not a believer, then they're gonna keep going. But in this day and time, everybody say they saved, so everybody believe in Christ. So that ain't it. Uh, if I
They
don't like
still
smoke, okay, so if I'm not gonna deal with anybody who smokes, I'm putting that in there. So because if you smoke, then you're gonna know I'll keep going because I'm wasting my time. You know. Again, the profanity thing. If every other curse word, the word is a curse word, I'm just not because you're not gonna fit in my world.
let
Just
me let me give you a good pulse. Let me give you a good pulse. Ready?
what?
If you like sports, put that on there.
Okay, I do.
If you like to travel, put that on there.
That's on there.
If you like to read and stuff like that, and put certain books on there.
But if they're
That's
not gonna
fine.
read it anyway, then what? You said
Hold
they're not
on.
gonna read it. They're
Hold
just gonna
on.
be looking at the pictures.
I'm trying to give you an example how to put a good post on there. Because here's the problem.
Hold on,
What
Yolanda
happens with
said
women?
we got a comment. Yolanda said it doesn't matter what you put, they still gonna respond. So Yolanda, you've had that experience too.
Yeah.
So just
So
put the
look,
pictures up there. Let them just wait them out. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, you have to get them. So here's the thing. When you write all your business and this thing, all of it on there, all 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 they have to do is read it. And now when they get a chance to talk to you, you gave them ammunition to use against you because they're gonna start saying every single thing they think you would like to hear. And before you know it, you 10 months down the road with somebody who really is not for you, but because you've given them information, enough information to run game on you, that's on you.
But if I tell them, but
Good,
that
listen,
can go either
good
way.
old fashioned, listen, good old fashioned having a conversation with a person will help you.
I agree. Conversation is key, even from the chat. If you're doing, we on this topic now, talk about people who do online dating. If you've ever done it, which a lot of people do for many reasons. You
Save people.
say people do it, and as well as unsaved people do it. We're gonna talk about another subject later, without the night. But I'm just saying, this dating.
Tonight we talking about to save people. I'm trying to help to save people tonight.
Okay, it's the same people who do online dating, and there's nothing wrong with online dating. Is in my opinion, it is no different than me meeting somebody on the street. I don't know, still don't know anything about you. It's just that I saw your face first prior
Mm-hmm.
to getting
Mm-hmm.
to know you. With the
Mm-hmm.
reverse on online dating, I am seeing a picture. Hopefully, that's you. Uh, and I get to talk to you first prior to meeting you, but I still got to get to know you to see if we're
Exactly.
compatible before we move on. So usually, even for me in the chat, regardless if they read the profile or not, if they're chatting with me and they have gotten my attention just in conversation from the chat, then okay, we'll take a step further. We know we got
Thank
serial
you.
chatters, so
Thank
texters and all that stuff. I'm gonna cut you real quick because I'm too old for that. I don't have time for it. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, I guess I agree. But I think I still need to put some stuff in there, try to weed them out.
but I want to let's
But I
go.
feel you. I understand. Because you're right. I have had people who, regardless of what being truthful about it, transparent. Yes, I have had people, regardless of what I had in there, uh, they cursing all in the chat. I'm just like, well, dang, they didn't read my profile at all. So
Yeah.
this ain't gonna go nowhere.
Yeah. So that's that part. It's dating now. I think is real tricky, um,
Very much.
because because people have dealt with a lot of issues in their past, and they want to present um, someone that they would like to be, but they're not necessarily there yet because they haven't dealt with stuff in their past. Now I would go as far as to say is the trauma that a lot of women have experienced, and men for that matter, sexually, has them battling the whole sexual demon now. And it's really, really crazy. And the reason I bring it up because I do still do some counseling for people, and I'm finding out more and more and more and more women have gone through sexual trauma. You know what I'm saying? And so, and we could talk about the whole deliverance piece all day, but listen, when that thing is rooted, you have to take the time to get to know somebody and let them find a safe space uh, within what the Lord's trying to do in their life, so they can have a healthy relationship. And so,
That's a
so
whole nother. That's a whole nother
right,
topic. I'm actually reading a book now that talks about dealing with traumas, and it's not just the sexual abuse trauma, but a lot of people are traumatized by it. A lot of it is sexual abuse, things that happen in childhood, but they could have PTSD because they were in the service or something they had happen, or something that's just happened to them, but how to deal with that even in relationships. And it's not so easy to get over for the individual. You can't just tell a person get over because that happened 10 years ago. No, like you said, that's rooted in my brain. It's something could trigger. I could think I'm over it and something could trigger. I can see something, you say something, and now it triggers. There's a trigger. It's going to trigger something within me based on the fact that I have this past trauma. So that's something we're going to talk about eventually on the show, about how to deal with those traumas. Now, being that we are talking about single saved, and I put sex and then the Y in parentheses because we're going to talk about sex and sexy. So we've talked about the sexy part, but let's talk about the sex, the
okay,
sex.
okay,
So we are single, and I'm making this general statement. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm not talking about us. I'm not talking about Anthony and I, but I'm just saying for single saved people who are sexy, who get a lot of attention, who are dating. And I was doing this little survey, not really a survey, but I was doing some research rather about, we know what the Bible says about sex, for premarital sex, people who are not married and they have sex. And I'm gonna have to bring somebody else on the show to talk about this because I know you ain't gonna go there with me.
oh, you just gonna throw me under the bus?
No, I'm not gonna throw you
No.
under the bus. I'm just saying there's a subject matter
Ask the question.
that I want to deal with, but I know you're not gonna
Ask
go
the
there.
question.
So here's what I want to say. Here's the
Ask
question.
the question. Ask the question.
How? No, seriously. Give us some good advice on. So say for instance, a person is abstinent, right? And they're dating. When is a good time to tell the person that you are dating that you are celibate or that you're abstinent, that you want to wait till marriage before you engage in sex? When should the person tell them? So at the beginning, like first date, second,
No,
third?
no.
When?
Um,
Wait
I,
till he trying to. It's gonna been a great night. It's Valentine's night. We've been out on a few dates, and he thinking, oh, hey, I'm gonna get my groove on. Should I tell him then? Oh no, hold up, sir. When do we tell him?
all right. So what we're not gonna do tonight is we're not gonna be one-sided on this.
Oh, why is it one-sided? Is that not a valid question?
No, what I'm saying is what's good, what the advice good for women is also good advice for men as well. So
Okay.
we don't want the presupposition to be, well, he wants some, but you the woman, you want to wait till you're married. It could be opposite.
It could be. It could be.
Right.
So I said singles. Help the singles. I didn't say the
So
ladies. Help the
so
singles.
here's my advice. Okay.
I'm listening.
My advice is you have to know if you choose to have sex, the consequences are this. That person is not legally nor morally obligated to be faithful to you.
Okay, I don't want to go
Hold
there.
hold
I
on,
agree.
hold on,
But
hold on.
how you
I
where do
wanna,
I
I
tell them?
wanna,
You're not answering my question.
hold on. I want to give that as a backdrop, okay?
Women know that.
Because people are having sex in church. Period.
This is true. Out of this,
So,
yes, they are.
so the whole announcing that you are abstinent is like, to me, you announce to everybody you're fasting.
But when do we tell them? Because here's my take on that. For any, whether I'm a female, so I'm speaking from a female standpoint. You have to talk from the male standpoint, but I'm gonna make it both ways. If I'm dating someone and I like them, okay, and he likes me, it's mutual, all right. And I ain't had this conversation, so he assuming, may be assuming, because like you just said, saved people are having sex, whether we want to admit it or not. They are in the church, out of church. I don't care, say whatever. People having sex. Not everybody. I ain't gonna say everybody because everybody's not. I know some who ain't. But I'm saying if we're dating, that conversation needs to come up somewhere because I don't want to be 6 dates in. I wouldn't want him to be 6 dates in, and then he thinking, "Oh, we getting ready to take it to the next level," and then I'm like, it ain't gonna happen. He mad now.
Okay.
He upset.
Okay.
So
So
he don't
I
feel like
guess,
he don't waste his time, and I don't waste my time because I didn't have this conversation early on, and now I realize that if I don't have sex with you, then
how's that a waste of time?
I don't wasted my time because if he's not willing to wait, then I've wasted my time. So I should have told you on date one. So I can know that if you are a man who is willing to wait, then so be it. But if I don't know that and don't learn that until I'm 6 dates in, and then we had this conversation, and then you decide you want to walk away, I've wasted my time and his.
All right. So let me help you. You can have a conversation whenever you want to have. You can do it the first day, whatever. That's on you. But I'm about to say something, and I'm gonna let the chips fall where they may. Okay.
Say it.
Most men, not all, most men, they're not waiting.
I agree with you on that. I agree.
Now, they may wait. They may wait with you, but they're not waiting. And women, you got to be cool with that.
So I got to be cool with the fact that I tell him, listen, I'm not doing this until I get married, at least maybe until we engage. Y'all know me, I'm keeping it real. I keep it real. So, but if I say that, and he said, okay, babe, I'm good with it. I respect you. I'm gonna wait with you. He's still not waiting because there's Brianna, Jaquela, whoever is over here willing to give it up, and he gonna go dabble and dabble.
Listen, because the way men,
talk about saved men, right?
I need you to listen. All right, y'all want to deal with this? Here it is. The way men view sex is different the way women view sex.
I agree. Y'all think it's just sex. It ain't nothing. It's just
it is something that we do. Now, there is an aspect that when that man equates having sex with you as it is completely an endearing exercise. I won't say exercise. It's an endearing gesture. Yeah, with that particular woman, when he's attaching his feelings to that woman with the sex, that's different. And often it's that woman he probably gonna eventually propose to. Okay, but being that she meets some other criteria as well.
Mhm.
But sex, we view sex completely different.
Y'all ain't waiting.
So look, that's
Slave
why
men
that
ain't waiting.
whole
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it.
that
I heard
90
it from
day,
men.
you give him that 90-day rule all you want to. That's cool. But he ain't waiting 90 days.
He might be waiting 90 days. He might be trying
No,
to serve
you
the Lord
want
just
him
as
to.
much as I'm serving the Lord. And
Again,
trying to be pleasing to
I
the Lord.
said most, not all. You may get that small percentage. Okay.
Okay, he says a small percentage.
It is a very small percentage.
30%,
Smaller.
25.
You asked me to keep it real. I'm keeping it real with you. I'm telling you. They, I,
So you see, this brings up another topic that we got 10 minutes, but it's going to bring up another subject matter. And I say this, and I've said this before to friends and just whoever, that it really doesn't make much difference whether you date in the church or out of the church. Now, yes, if you want someone who says that they are a believer as well, okay, that's my take on it. You want someone that's on your same spiritual level or close to it if possible. However, all the men in the church are not good men, and all the men that don't go to church aren't bad men. So if the difference is they say they saved and they're not having sex, but they are, then why shouldn't a woman date somebody who don't even go to church? Why should she not? He might treat her better. We're gonna do
I
the same.
mean,
We're gonna do the same thing anyway. What difference does it make? He's a
all
nice
right.
guy.
So since you want to go there and put it all on us,
I'm just saying. No, I
'cause
just asked a question. I
listen,
didn't put it on y'all. I just
listen. Let's be real. We ain't doing anything that y'all don't
unless
like.
we allow it. Come on, sir. You right. You right. You are right about it now. You right.
Now, let's go deep. This is why God really never talked about this aspect of male and female relationships in scripture because of this whole dynamic. Every woman wants to go from the covering of her father to the covering of her husband.
Mm-hmm.
There was no such thing as dating for this very simple reason. Sex clouds the whole thing.
It does.
My girl out of Memphis, Tennessee, I cannot think of her name now. Her name escapes me, but she said it. She said it right. I'm gonna get you her name. She's good. You might want to bring her on your show. She is off the chain.
Okay.
She said, whenever you have sex, it clouds everything.
I totally agree.
Okay. And so I've had this conversation with my members when I dealt with a series on love and relationships, how to cheat proof your marriage, all that good stuff, and all of that. When it comes to that whole sex part, the thing is, you got to be willing to deal with the consequences.
I agree. That's true. This is
If
true.
you like, hey, if you are big and bad enough to do it, you got to be willing to be big and bad enough to deal with consequences.
That's true. That's true. And a
And
lot of
then
relationships and marriages are built just solely on sex, and then they wonder why they crumble because you don't indulge in sex so quickly. You realize outside the bedroom, I really don't like this person. I can't even have a conversation with them. Like, okay, we don't have nothing in common. Sex is great. We good in the bedroom, but after that, I'm just like, I can't stand him because you didn't take the time, which is why I do understand why Steve Harvey says in 90 days. I know people are grown, so they're gonna do what they want to do. But I understand the concept behind that is because even with your job, you're on a 90-day, curve. We got the time with these 90 days. You can determine if you like us, you still want to work with this company. We can determine if we want to keep you as an employee. In the dating world, I'm taking time before I give you all my valuable goods, my body, to determine if we can even have a conversation. Do I like you? Do you meet my standards? Can I bring you in the mix around my social network? You know, what's your goals? But oh, we caught up in the euphoria because he's sexy and he got it going on, or she's sexy and she got it going on. So hey, let's do what we do, and then we try to figure out the rest later. No.
So let me help you. So if you're trying to date, here's a recipe. Get to be Make sure you incorporate the friendly component in the relationship. Friends, bring the friendship component in, and then strengthen that to that person can become now then your best friend.
Yes.
All right. And then here it is. You got the best of both worlds. You got your best friend and you're attracted to them. You have the same goals, aspirations. That is a recipe for a great marriage.
I agree. I totally agree. And we got 4 minutes left here. I want you to tell the people how they can find you on social media. Tell them your church address so they come visit the church one Sunday if they want to come visit the church, and your social media links. Right quick.
So I'm on all of them: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can look up the Relationship Mentor, and you can find me there. My church is Church 180. We're located at 2000 North Highway 42 in McDonough, Georgia. Our website is wearechurch180.com. That's wearechurch180.com. All of it spells out.
Great.
And you can find me on, like I say, find me on all of them. And if you need me to come out and speak to a all girls night out or a ladies night out, get you about 20, 30 of your friends, and let's have a conversation about love and relationships. If you need some counseling with your marriage, I can do that as well. And so, you can find me there. You can email me.
We're going to tell you how to get a man. We're going to tell you how to keep him, how to cheat proof your marriage.
Read this book.
But he's still single. We're going to talk about that on another day. We're going to talk about that on another day. Anthony, it's been great. The Eve Effect. Yes, go get the book. It's a great book. I read it. Took some pointers out of it. I'm still single though, so I don't know if I'm just playing. I mean, this is how we be cutting up with each other, y'all.
Most of the women I know who did what was in this book, within 6 months to a year, they was engaged and married. They have to do what it says.
I need some testimonies. Let me go back and pull this book out. Then let's see what's happening. It's been great. It's been a pleasure. I have to come. You got to come back because there's another component we're gonna have to talk about in an hour. We can't get everything in. I want to do a segment on why am I still single? Because ladies feel like I have it together. Men may feel the same way, and I have a lot to offer. Why am I still single? So
yeah, you definitely need to bring me back for that.
We got to talk about that. But guys, it's been great. You guys know how to follow me on Instagram, Facebook. Facebook is Angela E. Stevenson. Also, the Takeover _edu on Instagram and Facebook. Follow us. Go to visit my website, Angela E. Stevenson, and get your t-shirts, sweatshirts, the Takeover. They are available for you, and we will see you guys next week. We may try to see if we can bring Anthony back next week and finish up this segment about why am I still single, because I want to know why Anthony is still single. Y'all have a great night. He's gonna get me after this, but have a great night. Share this broadcast with your friends, your single friends. Share it because they need to hear this information. All right, and we'll catch you all next week. Until then, Anthony, thank you again. And we'll see you soon. Have a great night, guys.
All right.